Hey, good morning. Today is Thursday. Oh no, what is today? The February 21st? 21st Saturday is the 23rd. Yep. Today is Thursday, February 21st. And it is morning here in London. It is pretty gray out, but I think the sun is supposed to come out. I don't know. I went for a short run this morning, but it was a little colder than I expected and I wasn't properly dressed, so it was a shorter run than I planned for. And my legs have been really tired lately. I'm not entirely sure. No, I know why. I've been increasing my squat weight at the gym, and I think that's making my legs feel really tired when I go out for a run. So I need to get a little more rest and kind of refine the right balance there. My squat weight is going up, and that's exciting. Pretty soon I'll be able to squat my body weight, which is wild. Wouldn't have been able to do that a year and a half ago. So it's been fun, but and I am headed off to class in just a little bit. On Thursdays I don't have class until noon, so I get to have a quiet morning, and by quiet I mean I still wake up at 6 and laze around for a little bit, and then I usually go and work out before I go to class. But yeah, so that's that. And today I've been I don't know why it came to, well, it came to mind because it's always on my mind here in London, which I'll come back to, but I was thinking about claustrophobia, and the first time I felt like fear induced from claustrophobia. I'm not like a crazy claustrophobic, but I am claustrophobic to an extent, especially in like small elevators are not great, or like not small elevators, but super crowded elevators cause me stress and anxiety. So I was thinking about the first time I felt claustrophobia, and at that time I don't think I knew what it was, but I did know I was afraid. And the first time I felt it, I was on a water slide, which is in an interesting space to feel claustrophobia. But so every summer, my family would load up into the car and take the 2-hour drive to Wisconsin Dells, which is home to Noah's Ark, America's largest water park. We can consider why Wisconsin it houses America's largest water park, given that you can only use it for maybe about 4 months of the year. We'll consider that at a different time. But anyway, we would go every summer, and we would stay at the Flamingo Motel, which had an arcade, had a sweet little pool that you could hang in after spending the day at the water park, had a little frog slide that you slide down with frog's tongue. That was always fun. And my sisters and I would love it. We'd often go, my parents would go, and then my grandparents would often come, and sometimes other family members would come, depending on, who was around at that point, maybe a cousin or some other aunts and uncles, depending on what was happening and who was in town. So we would all get up, and on the day it was time to go to the water park, we would get up and go early. My dad would lead the charge. He loved Noah's Ark and still loves Noah's Ark. He still talks about trying to go every summer. It's much harder now that we're all adults and not always in the same place. But he loved going, so he would lead the charge, and we were able to walk to the park from the hotel. So we'd get up, we'd walk over. My sisters and I would talk about what color that day's wristband would be, because you'd get a little plastic wristband, and they would be different colors every day. Sometimes they'd have like cool checkered patterns on them, and because we would often go for 1 or 2 days in a row, we'd usually end up having multiple wristbands, and it'd be cool just to start, they were like collecting them. So we'd get there, we'd get our wristbands, and then we would ride Cowabunga. Cowabunga is a big family ride. You get big inner tubes that fit like 6 or 8 people. I don't remember, probably 6 people. And we'd all ride that one together. It's a really nice, simple water ride. You just, it kind of just big slopes downward. It's fun. It's an easy way to start your day of fun at the water park. And first, yeah, like, I don't know, for some reason, Cowabunga is just a ride that continues to stick out in my head, even though it's been many years now since I've ridden it. I think it's been a while since I've been back to Noah's Ark, but it's still there. And then we would work our way through the water park, and we all had our favorite rides and our favorite experiences. It'd be the Adventure River, the Lazy River, the Bermuda Triangle ride, whatever rides were out there. Jungle Rapids used to be there. I don't know if Jungle Rapids is still there, but yeah, we'd slowly work our way through the water park, riding some things twice, just enjoying the hot summer sun, getting too much sun, and probably ingesting way too much chlorine water, and then we would end up at kind of the back wave pool. There's 2 wave pools. We'd end up at the back one, the big Kahuna. Better waves than, I think the other wave pool's called the Wave. Better waves at the Big Kahuna than at the other wave pool. And we'd have fun splashing around in the wave pool and really, tiring ourselves out for the day. But in 1997, so when I was almost 11, they put in a new ride back kind of behind where the Big Kahuna wave pool was, so it was something else to add on to our adventures. So Black Thunder was the ride, and it's like still there, and it has 2 different types of water slides attached to it. One is kind of a straight down water slide, and the other one is kind of like a more long, windy water slide. So the straight down one is called Witch's Gulch, and my gosh, we loved, and I still, next time I go, would probably just ride Witch's Gulch over and over again. It is just straight down, fast, a couple bumps along the way, and it's amazing. And you go, it's so fast, you're down and out in 15 seconds or something wild. It's just so much fun, then there's the Twin Twister one. But the thing about both Black Thunder slides is that in the name, it maybe suggests, and you'd be right to think that they're black water slides, and they're black and they're encased water slides, which means that there's no light whatsoever in them, and they're pitch black as you're going down. And that was okay with Witch's Gulch because the ride is so fast. There's only maybe 2 seconds where it's super pitch black and you don't see anything, but pretty quickly you see the sunlight at the end of the tunnel and the kind of the waterfall that you're gonna burst through in just moments. But the other one, the Twin Twister, those were longer rides, and they probably takes I don't know, a minute and a half to get down there. They're long and windy, and there's other slides like that in the park, but they're not pitch black as you go down. And the first time I felt claustrophobic was halfway down, my first time probably the first time down Twin Twister. I can't imagine it was my second or third time down, but I just felt terror, a panic that is hard to articulate, and I even though I didn't know why exactly I was feeling or what exactly I was feeling, I knew it wasn't a normal level of scared that you're supposed to have as an 11-year-old. And I felt my heart rate going up really, really fast, and I felt super, super anxious, and my screes of fun and glee shifted to what to me felt screams of panic and chaos, and I didn't really know what to do with that feeling. In it, the ride was maybe another 20 or 30 seconds, and it felt like it was an eternity. And I didn't go back on the Twin Twister. After that, I just stuck to the Witch's Gulch one, which is fine because we love that one. I think, one summer we, just rode it, 15 or 20 times, just up and down, and that's great. But ever since then, when I feel claustrophobic, I think back to the water slide, which is an interesting association to have. And I've been thinking about claustrophobia a little bit more because I feel, while I'm here in London, that I've been feeling claustrophobic more, and that it's true, and it's not just a thing I'm making up in my head, I don't think, because I am in more situations where, sorry, this is out of control, where I feel condensed into things, and I don't know if I think it's a combination of it being I'm in a huge city, one of the biggest cities in the world. So they're cramming a lot of people and a lot of things into spaces and trying really hard to, use space efficiently and maximize the space that's available. But also maybe it's like, I feel like it's a little bit of a European thing that things are just smaller. And maybe an American thing that things are bigger and more spread out. So I feel claustrophobic a lot. Like every single day there's at least one or two moments where I feel like the panic inducing like moments of claustrophobia, whether it's getting on a full tube in the morning, or like, in a really small elevator where there's a lot of people, even at the library, because like there's just not space for me to spread out ever. And I feel like really condensed into spaces a lot of times. And I don't, maybe it's just being American, being from a not huge city, that I feel like I need more space than is allotted to me here. So a lot of times I feel anxious and nervous because I'm condensed into really, really small windows of really small space. I'm losing the thread here, guys. But yeah, so I've been thinking about that a lot, and about like the privilege to have space to yourself. And I'm lucky even my dorm room is small, but at least it's my own space, and it can be a quieter space for me. And it doesn't feel like the walls are closing in on me here in this room. But yes, I don't know, just the idea of when you put yourself in a new situation, even though it's temporary, it's long-term temporary. So what that means for how your fears and anxieties kind of re-manifest and re-show up in new and different ways. And that means there's some things that kind of go by the wayside, which is good, and some things that show up in ways that you didn't expect. And I never really thought through or expected to feel the claustrophobia coming at me most days, and having to kind of deal with that. And it's not that it's extreme claustrophobia. I haven't, had to talk to a doctor or anything about it. It's just like there are moments where like I have to like close my eyes, focus on my breathing, and just like think really hard about like, I'll get off this tube in 5 minutes. I'll be okay. Or like, the elevator will get me there in just a second. So just like breathe, calm down. So I don't know. I've been thinking a lot about claustrophobia, partly because I was on a super crowded train yesterday, and I actually eventually had to just like got off the train and waited for the next one to come because it was just a little too much. It also gets really hot and stuffy on the train, and sometimes really smelly. And yesterday was just a combination of all of the things that just create like my heart to race, and me to like sweat profusely. And I just, sometimes you just don't need that. So yeah, I don't know. Claustrophobia is a fear I never anticipated having until I was 11. And it, comes and goes in waves, and there are moments in time where I deal with it better than others. But yeah, it's not always fun. So that is it for today. I ramble a little bit. This is going to be my longest one yet so far. But that's okay. I feel like I told a little story. We'll figure it out as we go. Like I said, I'm committed to doing this every day for 30 days. So this is day 4. And we'll go from there. But I should get myself ready to go to class, and get some lunch and kind of get out the door. So I will talk to you tomorrow. Make good choices. Look at the stack of books we propped this phone up on. I am definitely a public policy student with a random copy of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.